In the heart of Texas, beneath a vast, sun-baked sky, I lived a routine that had become my silent prison. My name is Thomas McCready, and my humble property stretched across acres of red earth, surrounded by wheat fields that swayed in the dry wind like golden waves. The wooden ranch house had seen better days, its worn planks telling stories of storms and droughts I'd survived alone. After losing my wife Margaret 5 years ago, I became a man of few words and even fewer smiles, until a local auction changed my destiny forever. Among animals and farm equipment, an announcement surfaced that chilled my blood. A young, paralyzed girl named Emily, just 15, needed a home. Something within me stirred, and I offered the girl shelter, surprising even myself with this impulsive decision. Emily's arrival at the ranch broke the silent routine that had consumed me for years. The girl, confined to a worn wheelchair, observed the horses, the red-painted barns, and the open field, with a disturbing mix of fear and hope shining in her blue eyes. I felt completely awkward, my calloused hands trembling when I tried to show any gesture of affection or care. In the nearby village, neighbors began whispering in groups on street corners and at the local general store. Some openly questioned my decision to take in an orphaned girl. Others hinted at hidden intentions with suspicious glances. Meanwhile, Emily faced the cold nights and stifling Texas days, listening to the constant rustling of crickets and smelling the strong aroma of coffee I brewed every morning. She desperately tried to believe that this arid place could become a true home. One day, an unexpected storm swept over the ranch with devastating fury, bringing heavy rain that drummed on the tin roof and winds that threatened to tear down the fences I had built with my own hands. The sky darkened quickly, transforming the sunny afternoon into a grey and menacing nightmare. Amidst the absolute chaos, I needed to save the frightened cattle that were desperately running through the drenched pasture. In the impulse of urgency, something extraordinary happened. I asked Emily for help for the first time, not out of obligation or pity, but because I finally saw her as a person capable of contributing. In the Herculean effort to hold a heavy barn door violently flapping in the wind, she felt a strange tingling sensation running through her motionless legs. The moment seemed small, almost imperceptible to any external observer, but it changed everything between us forever. The following days brought a completely different rhythm to our daily routine on the isolated ranch. Emily, with simple exercises I researched in old medical books, slowly began to regain movements everyone believed lost forever. I, previously trapped in a suffocating silence that had consumed me since Margaret's death, found unexpected joy in teaching, cooking golden corn pancakes for her every morning, and hearing her crystalline laughter filling every corner of the empty house. The ranch, formerly stark and melancholic like a mausoleum, gradually transformed into a genuine space of healing and rebirth. What had begun as a simple practical act of charitable sheltering became a profound journey of mutual transformation, proving that even hearts hardened by suffering can flourish again when we least expect it. Weeks turned into months of extraordinary discoveries that defied all known medical logic. Emily not only regained sensation in her legs, but began to take her first trembling steps across the wooden porch, leaning on me as a daughter leans on her father. The neighbors who once whispered with suspicion now watched with growing admiration our mutual transformation. Dr. Harrison, the local doctor who had given up on Emily years ago, visited our ranch with incredulity etched on his wrinkled face. He examined the girl thoroughly, shaking his head in complete perplexity at what he considered scientifically impossible. Margaret always said that miracles happen when we least expect them, and perhaps she was right from the start. Emily had brought new life not only to her own paralyzed legs but to my soul, parched by grief and loneliness. Today, 6 months after that fateful auction, I watch Emily running freely through the golden wheat fields, her blonde hair dancing in the wind as Margaret's used to do. The ranch echoes again with laughter, lively conversations during dinner, and the sound of hurried footsteps going up and down the wooden stairs. The doctors in Dallas are still trying to explain her miraculous recovery, but I've learned that some things simply transcend human understanding. Emily taught me that true love, even the most improbable and unexpected, has a healing power that goes beyond any known medical treatment. She wasn't just the paralyzed girl I saved on that hot summer day. She was the angel who saved my lost soul. Sometimes, life's greatest miracles don't come wrapped in heavenly lights or supernatural phenomena, but in the simple form of a second chance to love and be loved unconditionally. But no one in town was prepared for what came next. The following winter, as the wheat fields slept under a thin layer of Texan frost, Emily began to demonstrate abilities that went far beyond her extraordinary physical recovery. She developed an inexplicable connection with the ranch animals, able to calm wild horses with just a gentle touch and making the most aggressive cattle docile in her presence. Dr. Harrison returned several times, bringing specialist colleagues from Houston and Dallas, all equally perplexed by the unique case that challenged decades of medical knowledge. Emily patiently submitted to endless examinations, MRIs, and neurological tests that only confirmed the impossible. Her spinal cord had completely regenerated. I watched everything with a mixture of paternal pride and growing concern, knowing that our quiet life on the ranch was about to change drastically when the news spread beyond the confines of our small rural community. Spring brought television reporters, medical magazine journalists, and curious onlookers from across the country who transformed our isolated property into a veritable media circus. News trucks parked on the dirt road, their satellite dishes pointed skyward like metallic flowers seeking the sun. Emily, now 16, and with impressive maturity for her age, faced cameras and microphones with a serenity that surprised me daily. She spoke about her recovery with touching simplicity, always mentioning how the love and patience she found at the ranch were fundamental to her healing. I remained in the background, uncomfortable with all the attention, preferring to observe how my adopted daughter became a symbol of hope for thousands of people around the world. Letters arrived in droves, from desperate families seeking similar miracles, from doctors offering studies, and from religious organizations proclaiming Emily as a divine blessing. Summer arrived with scorching temperatures and a proposal that would change our lives forever. A renowned international medical foundation offered an astronomical sum to study Emily in their advanced research laboratories, promising that their discoveries could revolutionize the treatment of spinal cord injuries. Sitting on the porch, watching the sunset paint the fields a deep gold, we talked about the possibilities that lay before us. Emily held my calloused hand in hers, her blue eyes reflecting a wisdom that seemed far beyond her years. She told me she wanted to help other people, but she didn't want to become an object of scientific study for the rest of her life. That night, we made the decision to agree to participate in limited research, maintaining our privacy and our home on the ranch as a sacred refuge. The press speculated about our refusal of the most lucrative offers, but Emily and I knew that some treasures cannot be bought with money. Autumn brought us a new routine, balancing our ranch life with monthly visits to the research center in Dallas. Emily underwent periodic examinations that meticulously documented her continuous recovery, while I learned about neuroplasticity, cellular regeneration, and other complex medical terms I never imagined understanding. During these trips, we met other families facing similar situations, and Emily naturally became an informal mentor for children and young people with spinal cord injuries. She organized an online support group that connected patients around the world, sharing not only hope, but practical rehabilitation techniques she had developed during her own recovery journey. The doctors were impressed not only by her exceptional physical condition, but by her ability to inspire and motivate other patients to persist in their treatments. Our house filled with photographs, letters, and small gifts from people Emily had touched with her story of overcoming adversity. The second winter since Emily's arrival was marked by a revolutionary scientific discovery that emerged directly from the studies of her extraordinary case. Researchers identified specific proteins in her blood that seemed to stimulate neural regeneration in a way never before documented in the world's medical literature. This discovery led to the development of an experimental treatment that showed promising results in initial laboratory tests. Emily, now 17, officially became the first youth ambassador for the International Foundation for Spinal Cord Injury Research. She occasionally traveled to medical conferences, always accompanied by me. speaking about her experience with an eloquence that moved entire audiences of healthcare professionals. Despite all the fame and scientific recognition, she never lost her simple and caring essence, continuing to help with ranch chores and maintaining her special connection with our animals. Margaret would be proud of the extraordinary young woman Emily had become. Today, 3 years after that auction that changed our lives forever, I watch Emily preparing to enroll in veterinary medicine school, determined to combine her passion for animals with her desire to aid in medical research. The ranch has become an informal rehabilitation center, where families from across the country come seeking hope and learning techniques Emily developed. She established a morning outdoor exercise routine that incorporates elements of traditional physical therapy with practical rural activities, showing that healing often happens in the simplest and most natural environments. Our small Texan village now appears on international medical maps, not for its wheat fields, but for the silent miracle that happened amidst these arid lands. Emily taught me that true miracles do not violate the laws of nature, but reveal possibilities that science does not yet fully understand. As she prepares to leave the ranch temporarily for her studies, I know she will carry with her not only medical knowledge, but the profound wisdom that love, patience, and determination can overcome any discouraging prognosis. Emily's departure for college left the ranch strangely quiet, but not empty, like in the dark times after Margaret's death. Her letters arrived weekly, full of enthusiasm about veterinary anatomy, animal neurology, and the experiments she conducted under the supervision of professors fascinated by her unique story. During winter break, she returned transformed into a 20-year-old woman, carrying not only academic knowledge, but a clear vision of her purpose in life. She brought with her 2 classmates interested in documenting the rehabilitation techniques she had developed at the ranch, and together they established scientific protocols to measure the effectiveness of her unconventional methods. Watching her teach with infinite patience, I realized that Emily had inherited from me the ability to communicate through actions more than words. The ranch temporarily transformed into an outdoor laboratory where science and intuition walked hand in hand. The following spring, Emily defended her master's thesis on neuroplasticity induced by animal-assisted therapy in rural environments, a pioneering work that combined her personal experience with rigorous scientific methodology. The university auditorium was packed with doctors, veterinarians, therapists, and journalists interested in her revolutionary discoveries. I sat in the front row, my best suit slightly tight after years of wearing only work clothes, watching with indescribable pride as my daughter presented graphs and statistics that scientifically proved what we had always intuitively known. After the presentation, job offers poured in from hospitals, rehabilitation centers, and prestigious universities around the world. Emily listened to all of them politely, but her answer was consistent. She wanted to return to Texas and establish an official rehabilitation center on our property, combining veterinary medicine with therapy for humans. Summer brought us an impressive physical transformation of the property, financed by donations from families Emily had helped over the years and research grants obtained through her award-winning thesis. We built modern facilities that harmoniously integrated with the existing rural landscape. A physical therapy center equipped with state-of-the-art technology, specially designed therapeutic stables, and comfortable dormitories for patients and their families. Emily supervised every detail of the construction, insisting that the environment maintain the welcoming, family atmosphere that characterized our original ranch. During the work, she met Marcus, a young architect specializing in sustainable medical facilities, whose professional interest quickly turned into something more personal. Watching them work together, meticulously planning each space, I recognized in Emily's eyes the same sparkle I saw in Margaret's when she dreamed of our future together on the ranch. Autumn marked the official opening of the McCready Morrison Rehabilitation Center, a name Emily insisted on using to honor both our family and Margaret's memory. The inauguration ceremony brought together patients, families, doctors, and local authorities in a celebration that once again transformed our small Texan village into the center of national attention. Emily, now 25 and officially engaged to Marcus, cut the inaugural ribbon with the same hands that once trembled in a wheelchair. The first group of patients included children, adolescents, and adults with different types of spinal cord injuries, all eager to experience the revolutionary methods that combined traditional therapy with animal interaction and adapted rural activities. During the first week of operation, I witnessed progress that the doctors themselves considered statistically improbable, confirming that Emily had discovered something truly special at the intersection of love, nature, and medical science. Winter presented us with new challenges when Emily and Marcus announced they were expecting twins, news that filled my heart with a joy I hadn't felt since her first days of recovery. The doctors followed the pregnancy with scientific interest, documenting how her regenerated nervous system reacted to the hormonal and physical changes of gestation. Emily continued working with patients until the 7th month, adapting her activities as needed, always serving as a living example that limitations can be overcome with determination and adequate support. Marcus proved to be a dedicated partner, gradually taking on more administrative responsibilities at the center as Emily prepared for motherhood. During the long cold nights, we sat on the heated porch, planning the future of a new generation that would grow up knowing only limitless possibilities. The property that once housed only my solitude now pulsed with life, hope, and the promise of continuity that Margaret had always wished for our home. Today, watching my grandchildren play in the same yard where Emily took her first steps after paralysis, I fully understand the true meaning of the word miracle. It is not about supernatural events that defy the laws of physics, but about the extraordinary capacity of love to transform lives in ways that science is only beginning to comprehend. Emily, now medical director of an internationally recognized center, continues to inspire patients and professionals with her unique approach that combines scientific rigor with genuine compassion. The Macready Morrison Center has become a model replicated in several countries, always maintaining the fundamental principles Emily learned at our ranch, that healing happens best in environments where people feel loved, respected, and connected with nature. Margaret would have been proud to see how our home transformed into a beacon of hope for people facing the darkest moments of their lives. Sometimes, during particularly beautiful sunsets, I can still feel her presence silently approving of the choices we made and the lives we managed to touch. The true miracle was not just Emily's physical recovery, but the discovery that unconditional love, when combined with scientific determination and unwavering faith in human possibilities, can literally move mountains and transform destinies that once seemed sealed forever. 5 years have passed since the twins were born, and the Macready Morrison Center has expanded to include a specialized school for children with special needs, where innovative educational methods are tested daily. Emily developed a unique curriculum that integrates occupational therapy with agricultural activities, allowing children with different physical limitations to actively participate in caring for animals and adapted crops. Little Lucas and Sarah, now 5, are growing up bilingual in English and the universal language of compassion, naturally treating classmates in wheelchairs or with other limitations as normal playmates. Marcus expanded the facilities with fully accessible playgrounds and classrooms, equipped with state-of-the-art assistive technology. In the mornings, I watch Emily conducting aquatic therapy sessions in the therapeutic pool we built, her gentle voice echoing as she guides patients through exercises that strengthen not only muscles but also self-esteem and determination to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. The center's international fame attracted the attention of a film production company that proposed turning our story into an inspirational movie, offering a substantial sum for the rights to our extraordinary experience. Emily and I discussed at length the pros and cons of sharing our journey even more widely, carefully weighing the potential positive impact against our valued family privacy. We decided to accept the proposal with one non-negotiable condition: that the profits be entirely dedicated to creating similar centers in underserved communities around the world. During the months of filming, renowned actors lived with us, learning not only about our therapeutic methods, but about the importance of emotional authenticity in every interaction with patients. The process of seeing our life retold on the big screen was simultaneously moving and surreal, especially when I recognized in the eyes of the actor playing me the same silent determination I had always carried. Emily became a technical consultant for the production, ensuring that every medical detail was portrayed with impeccable scientific accuracy. The release of the film Miracle on the Ranch broke box office records and generated a global wave of interest in alternative therapies for spinal cord injuries, resulting in invitations for Emily to speak at medical conferences on 5 continents. I accompanied her on several of these trips, observing with growing admiration how she managed to communicate complex medical concepts in an accessible way to diverse audiences, from medical students to desperate families seeking hope. In each lecture, she emphasized that there is no magic formula for recovery, but rather a careful combination of advanced medical treatment, consistent emotional support, an appropriate therapeutic environment, and above all, the unwavering belief that improvements are possible, even in cases considered impossible. Audience questions often focused on the spirituality of her recovery, but Emily always redirected the conversation to measurable scientific aspects, explaining how positive psychological factors directly influence healing processes and neural regeneration. We returned to Texas after each trip even more convinced that our work transcended the limits of a rural property. During the center's 10th anniversary, Emily announced an ambitious new initiative, the creation of an online university specializing in integrated rehabilitation therapies, offering certified courses for healthcare professionals interested in our revolutionary methods. The digital platform would allow therapists from developing countries to access world-class training without prohibitive costs, democratizing knowledge that could transform millions of lives around the globe. Marcus led the technological development of the platform, creating virtual simulations that allowed students to practice therapeutic techniques in controlled environments before applying them with real patients. The first semester attracted over 5,000 registrants from 80 different countries, confirming the global demand for alternatives to traditional rehabilitation methods. Emily now divided her time between direct patient care at the physical center and online classes broadcast to students in completely different time zones. Watching her teach through video conferences, I recognized the same educational passion she always demonstrated, now amplified by technology to reach audiences who could never personally visit our ranch. The twins, now 10, have developed an intuitive understanding of physical differences and special needs that constantly surprises adults, naturally treating schoolmates with disabilities as normal playmates. Lucas demonstrates exceptional talent for working with therapeutic horses, developing a special connection with animals that seem to instinctively understand when a child needs additional emotional support. Sarah inherited her mother's scientific inclination, conducting rudimentary experiments on plant growth in different types of soil and meticulously documenting her results in colorful notebooks. Emily occasionally includes them in age-appropriate therapeutic sessions, teaching them that helping others is a natural responsibility for those who have had privileged opportunities in life. During family dinners, they share stories about new friends at the center, casually talking about wheelchairs, prosthetics, and hearing aids as normal elements of their daily reality. Observing the naturalness with which they navigate an inclusive world, I feel profound gratitude that they have grown up in an environment where differences are celebrated instead of feared or ignored. Reflecting on the 15 years since that transformative auction, I recognize that our journey exemplifies how seemingly small acts can generate extraordinary consequences that spread far beyond our original intentions. What began as an impulsive gesture of compassion has transformed into a global movement that has directly impacted over 50,000 patients and their families through affiliated centers in 23 countries. Emily, now a recognized world authority in integrated rehabilitation, continues to live on the same ranch where she regained the ability to walk, keeping her roots firmly planted in the Texan soil that witnessed her personal miracle. Margaret would have been proud to see how our home transformed into a beacon of hope for people facing the darkest moments of their lives. Sometimes during particularly beautiful sunsets, I can still feel her presence, silently approving of the choices we made and the lives we managed to touch. The true miracle was not just Emily's physical recovery, but the discovery that unconditional love, when combined with scientific determination and unwavering faith in human possibilities, can literally move mountains and transform destinies that seemed sealed forever.